Hello and welcome to this My Ocean Life video chat. I'm Nicola Gribbin, CEO and co-founder of My Ocean Life. If you would like to join My Ocean Life, our fast-growing online network for seafarers, simply go to myoceanlife.com. This is the third in our series on tips for job-seeking seafarers, and I'd like to welcome Miranda Strawbridge from Strawbridge Maritime Consultancy.
Thank you, Nicola. Glad to be here again.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. And today you are going to be sharing with us some tips on how to apply for jobs.
Yes, I hope so. A few more little tidbits to help those seafarers out there.
Fantastic. So we do have two other video chats that we've already recorded. So if you haven't had a chance to watch those as yet, please do go back and watch them. They're all available on the My Ocean Life platform. And today I'm going to hand over to you, Miranda, to share your pointers from your years of experience in the industry. If you could do a brief intro first for those that may not have seen the first two in the series, that would be great as well, please.
Yep, short brief info is go back onto My Ocean Life and watch the first two videos. You'll get to know us. No, but seriously, I have been in the maritime industry for over 20 years. Graduated from a maritime academy, currently working as a consultant in various different aspects for the last almost 3 years, specifically working to recruit seafarers for opportunities. So I feel that I have a little bit of a tune of experience to be able to help and guide seafarers from around the world that link up with My Ocean Life.
Fantastic. So what do the seafarers need to think about when they're first deciding to apply for a new job, or they've seen an advert on one of the jobs boards?
Well, I think the first thing that seafarers really need to focus on is, what kind of a company do they want to work for? Do they want to work for a large ship owner, tankers, reefer? Do they want to work on the LNG industry type vessels? Have they got experience in a variety that they'd like to put forward? This is something that helps them to narrow down the search, because it can be overwhelming. So first, choose the sector of that offshore industry that you're aiming at.
And that does make a big difference, doesn't it? Because the different type of vessel that they're on vastly changes their experience in terms of journey length, the number of ports they might stop at, that kind of thing, where they might travel.
Absolutely. If they love to travel, there's opportunities out there. If they don't, then there's more coastwise shipping. There's inland shipping. There's various different ways. Our cargo around the world gets to our major cities from different paths, mostly starting from some other port. So, or going from your port to another one. So yeah, it's definitely kind of sit down and make a plan. So, when you're starting out, you're going to set that goal of, I'm going to apply for 10 major ships that are of 36,500 ton or 16,500 ton, or, because I'm all licensed, so I can apply for all of them. So do 10 of each. Go all the way down to the OSV market, the wind farm support market. Select companies that you have an interest, that you've heard of, maybe you know somebody that's worked for, and start your path by researching those companies, but building a plan of targeting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so that you can make a focused plan on how to approach those. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how do you apply for the jobs at the companies that you may have targeted.
And it's an interesting point that if you know someone that's already working for a company that you might be interested in working for, it's great to get their ideas on what it's like to work there. And we've got My Ocean Life members out there as seafarers working for various companies, so they can always connect and ask them questions and support one another through our community as well.
Absolutely. Networking is a huge key to your job and your career continuance and success. So I do recommend, if you haven't become a member yet of My Ocean Life, getting on there and seeing who else are members. You may suddenly find that a seafarer that you worked with 10 years ago is also on there, and this is how you can reconnect with that person. Find out what both of your journeys have been like, and have a conversation on how they're taking their steps in their journey, and maybe get a referral too. Getting a referral to their position. That's something else that I should highlight that I actually hadn't put in my notes today, but it's a referral from a fellow seafarer into a company. Companies like to hire from within or from recommendations from within.
So powerful.
It's network, network, network. Keep track of those friends. Keep track of those, you know, it might have been only a week you were on a ship, but you made an impact in that person's life or vice versa. And you can still connect and reconnect with them through social media. Wonderful thing about overseas is everybody's online these days.
That's it. Fantastic. So when you're applying to an HR manager, what is it you need to think about when you first, make that contact?
Right. So let's just take it from the viewpoint of you've got a contact or you've got some form of an email connection into a company and you're going to send your resume. The first thing to note is absolutely do not put every single contact that you have for the company or every job that you've researched. Don't put one email together with everybody in copy. When I receive an email that has, say, 50 or 60 people in the to box, I don't really pay attention to that applicant because that applicant's not focused on wanting to work with me, with my organization. They're just looking for whatever. Employers like to know that you're interested in their organization, that you have a desire for them, not that you're just job searching for whoever's going to take you first. And the first way of really breaking that molding is individualize, individually address, individually reach out to the organizations or the contact that you have for an organization. You certainly don't want to BCC, 10 other shipping companies and a trucking company, or sorry, not BCC, but regular in the to or the CC, where it's visible to them and have the exact same thing. Dear sir, especially if you're sending it to a dear madam.
So that personalization is absolutely key. And would you look the person up if you knew their name on LinkedIn or whatever to see what they're posting about, what they're interested in? So there's some kind of common reference point when you first reach out to them?
Depending on the level of seafarer you are. So if you're captain, certainly as a captain, you want to be able to reach out and maybe have a little personalization. Dear Miss So-and-so, I saw your postings on LinkedIn recently. I also have a similar connection to the wind farm industry that you have a passion with and your company is passionate about. So therefore, I'm reaching out to you. Make it personal if you can. But otherwise, in general, it doesn't have to be personal unless somebody's referred you. So, dear Miss So-and-so or dear Mr. So-and-so, Thomas Jenkins that I worked with at X company back from this time to this time suggested, as he's currently an employee, that I reach out directly to you. That way they know why you're reaching out to them.
Yes, yeah. So you mentioned that seafarers need to get a plan together. So how do they start thinking about which companies to apply for?
Well, usually when you start thinking about the companies you're going to apply for, it's because you've either seen the ship go by or you've met somebody that you've worked with that used to work for a company and they really were happy with that organization, or they're on LinkedIn, on Indeed, on Monster Jobs, or any of the international job seeking opportunities. When you're building your plan, it's reaching out to the region that you want to be in, the type of company that you want to be in. So you might Google search tanker companies based in Odessa or LNG tankers based in Germany. So researching the where and the company names, you'll find the types of vessels, and then going on to their websites, seeing what type of asset they have, making sure that you're applying for a job on an asset that you actually have experience with. Because you certainly couldn't go in as chief engineer if you've never worked on a diesel electric. So pick and choose based on the research, but do the research. It's very important.
And then you've selected your company, you've got your HR manager contact name, and you need to write them a cover letter. So what do you need to think about? Some tips you can give on how to write cover letters?
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, keep it brief. This is your first impression to them of why are you writing to them? who you are and where you've come from. Not necessarily where you come from. It doesn't need to say that I'm from Goa, India, but it does need to say that I come from a 13-year history of working on XYZ type of ships. So kind of a little expression of you're reaching out, you're looking for a career opportunity, you want to find somewhere that you can ground your feet on their ships, floating from coast to coast with them, port to port with them. Be expressive, but general. This is what I want. And then within that second paragraph, you want to get to the point. You have seen their job on Indeed. You have seen their job on their website, or a so-and-so that you know, former employee who left on good terms or is still employed, referred you to them for your next career path. And then wrapping that cover letter up with a looking forward to hearing from you, please find enclosed. And whenever you say please find enclosed, that's your resume, those are your certificates, and it's making sure that they have in that signature the way to contact you as well, and it must match. So your contact details on your cover letter, your contact details in your signature on an email, your contact details on the top of your resume must all be consistent and match. I have experienced where somebody has given me 3 different phone numbers, 3 different email addresses, and they haven't responded to any of them because they were none of theirs. They were somebody else's looking out for them. So let's try not to give other people's details for you to be reached by. If you don't have a cell phone, sign up for an email, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, any of them, they're free. Right. And so in addition to keeping consistent with your signature and having your contact details and your names across all of your documentation as you submit it out to folks, something to really take note on is when you sign your signature, don't just sign John, don't just sign Mario or whatever. Respectfully yours, kindest regards. Those those are the formalities of a signature. You're ending the paragraph, you're going on to your statement, and then name, make sure you put your first and your last name. If you have an alternative nickname or a preferred name you go by, so I'm Miranda Strawbridge, but if I have somebody calls me Randy or Nikki, then I would want to put Miranda in parentheses, Nikki, last name Strawbridge. That way they know that in parentheses is your preferred calling name, but your official formal name that matches your documents is going to be first and last. In addition to that, keeping that consistent also throughout your documentation. Right. And then final thoughts are here. I've got 2 final thoughts for you, Nicola. I'm going to make sure that all of these candidates that are making out applications keep a running list. Follow-up is very important for you. It's also something that helps to spark an awareness of your interest. So if you've created that list of 10 or 20 or 30 companies, you've got the points of contacts, you've sent your email out by email, you need to be making sure that you do 2 things. Follow back up within at least a week, give them 7 to 10 days, 14 days at the most. Send another email to them. Dear so-and-so, whomever it was, I am just following up on my previous email submission of my resume. Please find it again attached here and reattach it. And ask them if they have further interest in you, or if they could give you guidance on where you should be reaching out instead. Sometimes they'll just ignore it unless somebody says, maybe I'm not supposed to apply with you. Where should I go? So doing that follow-up is very, very important for you as a seafarer looking for that job to get hired. It shows that you really genuinely are interested. You haven't just blasted it across. The second thing, look in your junk mail after you hit send on your applications. When you email out, when you even apply online through mass products that like LinkedIn or Indeed or any of those, you should check your junk mail or your spam box to make sure that you haven't actually received an auto reply that tells you where else to go and apply, that this is not the right place, or that tells you we'll be in touch within 30 days or 90 days or whatever it may be. It may give you links to their website where you can follow up to see other opportunities that maybe this one is closed. So those are very important for you as the job seeker to keep in touch with the job offerings and where you have to find those follow-ups.
And that managing of the list, I mean, you'll be applying for more than 1 or 2 vacancies. So that's quite difficult to handle, isn't it? Because, you know, you're juggling quite a few jobs that you're applying for.
If you're anything like me, I have to write it down or I won't remember it in a week. So I want to make sure and keep track. So I do encourage, get a single notebook, keep track of those names. Or if you're a computer whiz, keep track of it within a spreadsheet on your computer so you can go back and you can change its color coding or strike throughs or whatever it may be. Make a note about the interaction with the company so you know when you follow up, oh yes, I did hear back from so-and-so, or I did get that automated. Keeping track of that information is very important so that they know that you are interested in them. And something else to mention, Nicola, sometimes it's speculative. There may not be a job on the website. The job you're looking for with the company you're looking at may not have an open position right now. Sometimes they have a link where you can just submit a resume for future consideration. Sometimes they don't. So you might want to be reaching out to that HR manager's email and saying, I'm writing to you speculatively. I very much have an interest in your organization. I have these skills to bring to the table. Please find attached my resume and my certificates and submit it that way. That shows that you have ambition, that you have a self-starting and a self-follow-through with those managers as well as with the companies in their general box. And I know, respectfully, you're going to apply to, say, 100 jobs. It can be disheartening. It can be, it can hit you if you don't hear back.
Yes, yeah.
Be patient. Use these tips. Do some follow-up. Don't lose heart. I think for every 100 jobs you apply for, you might get 5 or 6 really solid follow-backs. Out of those 5 or 6, you may find that forever career. So never stop looking. Don't give up and don't write off the company. It may be that month, perhaps their HR team were in the middle of a change of management, or they might have been in the middle of buying a new ship and trying to increase the fleet. So they're all over the place. They get overwhelmed also. So be patient, be persistent. Don't be annoying, of course. You don't want to email every single day, but definitely follow back up, try again, keep that list running. Maybe this month was a bad month for those companies. Maybe this month was a bad month for your specific position as an engineer or an officer. So wait, go back another month. You've ticked off the ones that have responded negatively. You've ticked off the ones that have automated feeds that you only can search from online with applications, but you still have personal contact. Keep those in your list. It's a running list. Reapply again. Dear sirs, I applied on X date to this email address, as well as online through your portal. I am looking to see if you would be seeking a seafarer of my credential at this stage. Keep that follow-up going. That's the job will come.
That's it. It's about resilience, isn't it? Absolutely.
It is resilience.
And a lot of it is luck and timing as well. So, you know, that's where the resilience comes in. You have to think, that wasn't my time, but my time might be coming. So I've got to keep digging in. As I know, I mean, I've spoken to seafarers through My Ocean Life who've been looking for over 6 months for work, and it gets tough when you've been looking for that long.
And speaking on that, bonus conversation about to come. So for those of you who are tuned in now, feel free to tune off and come back later. We will keep it posted. But for those of you ready to watch the posting now, Nicola's going to have that link right up at the same time as this one for our topic number 3. It's keeping working while you're searching.
Very important. Bonus topic.
Bonus topic.
Thanks so much, Miranda, for all your tips today on applying for jobs. It's been so helpful for us seafarers. And do remember, you can reach out to myself or Miranda on My Ocean Life. just connect with us and send us a message if you've got any questions on anything that we've discussed today. For those of you that are still listening, we do have some bonus tips from Miranda today. So thank you for all of those who've stayed tuned so far. And I'm going to hand over to Miranda for a bonus tip for job seeking seafarers.
Right. So bonus indeed. I'm so glad that some of you are still tuned in, or all of you hopefully are still tuned in. But if not, My Ocean Life will have this on recordings for you to pop back onto later. So yeah, our activities. What do you do while you're job hunting? Most seafarers, they're on a ship, they've come off the ship, they've disembarked, and perhaps that vessel doesn't have another opportunity for them immediate to return back to, or perhaps the company is changing their fleet location, or they've changed how they're going to handle their crewing. And so you find yourself, you're out of work. What do you do? First thing is, I always say it's much easier to find a job while you have a job. So if you're on leave and you're taking that time during your leave, your vacation, your holidays, go ahead and start your job searches during that. Plan for the next onward going. Be sure that you've also communicated with your current HR to let them know that you would like to continue and extend with them if you're happy with them. But if you're not happy with them, it's not a problem to go out on the market while you're still employed and start searching for that next employment. Because you may know that, but you may know that that job is coming to an end in 30 days or 90 days or whatever it may be. I mean, recently we've seen this in the market where seafarers suddenly were handed their slips, sent home, they have no job to go to. So hundreds of you out on the market looking, what do you do? Well, I'm going to start by saying you may not get a paid job immediately. You may have plenty of time. Don't sit on your couch doing nothing. You may have some at-home projects that, yes, your spouse or your family member wants you to finish doing. That's great. Go ahead and work on those. But treat your job search like a job. You've got to dedicate and focus several hours a day, every day, until the next job is landed. Otherwise, it may take you even longer to find a job. But some of the tips and tricks that I have for you today as a bonus is how can you keep your skill set going while you're in between jobs? So if you've been somebody who's an engineer on a ship, you have great experience. You've had great training on various different types of mechanical, pressurized systems, whether it's the plumbing systems, the HVAC systems, pipe welding. Maybe you don't have the welding skills. Maybe this is a chance for you to go and gain some skills at pipe fitting and welding. These are all things that can be used. So take your time to add education while you're job searching. If not, go and apply for a job at a local shipyard. And it may not be a big shipyard like the Daumans of the world. It may not be that you can get a job in one of the bigger ship repair facilities or maintenance facilities, but you could look at the yachting industry. Most countries have a port that have a little mechanic shop or a maintenance and repair shop. Go get a job working with them. Take your skills to them. Add time, pitch in. Get a small paying wage is better than no wage, but you're keeping your skills up because that also goes on your resume. While I was in between jobs, I did this. Look at considering other alternative industry. So for instance, now I'm currently working with Mercy ships. Our ships require plumbers. They require specialists in that HVAC and refrigeration expertise. So if you've been working on a reefer ship, surely you understand HVAC and the refrigeration systems. If you've worked as the engineer that was on duty for managing the galley on a vessel, you have an understanding of those vacuum systems. You have, if you've worked on a cruise ship, I'm sure as an engineer, somebody has called you and said the plumbing is stuffed up on, deck level 5. So those skills can also be transferred onshore temporarily, and those industries are always looking for good skills as well. So don't take 6 months off hunting for a job. go and apply yourself as someone who has these skills, has these understandings, maybe from a different industry, but it is a transferable skill set, and apply for a job at your local plumbing companies, your local HVAC and air conditioning companies. Keep your skills going while you're still job searching for the next offshore position. There are ways that you can volunteer your time. I've talked about this before. I represent Mercy Ships at the moment. It's a great organization. You can volunteer for as little as 3 months on a Mercy Ships vessel, putting your maritime skills and those specialized skills as a carpenter, as a woodworker, maybe your hobby as a vehicle mechanic. So if you've been to sea and now you come home and you work on cars in the backyard, go put those skills to work on something like Mercy Ships for 3 months. Or you may find that's your passion and you stay with it for a long time. Certainly if you're single, you're welcome for as long as you want. Families are limited because things on Mercy Ships do have family cabin restrictions. But look at the other industries. There are a multitude of maritime-based charities. There are the other maritime organizations out there that are focused, whether it be National Geographic for their adventure research. They need seafarers as much as they need scientists. There are large ship, merciful vessels out there that are yachts. So go get some time on a yacht working for them. You might get crew as an AB paid. You might be able to volunteer for a short time as one of their line handlers and their deckhands and what have you. There are multiple options to keep you busy and to keep your skill sets going that will look great on your resume. From an HR perspective, that looks fantastic because it ticks the box. You're going to have continuous attempts to work or proof that you've continued to work. You're going to have continuous skills being utilized on your resume. It shows that somebody who maybe is in a company that has corporate social responsibility programs, maybe they're looking for that seafarer that is willing to be a part of their organization's plans. So they may donate their employees to certain charities. You may bring that skill set with the ability and the desire to already donate yourself to that company, and they're going to pull you out of that pile of applicants because you already fit the model of what they're looking for in an employee. So yes, there's your bonus tips of the day.
Fantastic.
And all look for more.
All looks great on the resume and great for networking as well.
It is, absolutely. I mean, you never know. You might volunteer for 2 months or 3 months or even 2 weeks in a charitable organization using those skill sets to hammer a nail or chip paint or whatever it may be. And while you're there, you're meeting the guy next to you who happens to be the nephew of the CEO of another company, or they may be a long-term employee. They might even be the hiring manager that's also volunteering. So you never know. It's all about just getting out there, keeping yourself out there, keeping your skills warm.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Miranda, today for all of your tips and guidance on how to find a job and how to apply for a job for our seafarers. It's been really, really fantastic, and I'm sure everyone's taken a great deal from it. So thank you.
I do hope so.
Yeah,
and I hope those recruiters are listening so they sign up and find these great candidates we're talking to.
My Ocean Life is there for everyone to support one another, to reach out to myself and yourself, Miranda, and yeah, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Nicola.
All right, take care. Speak soon.
Speak soon. Bye.
Bye. As Miranda mentioned, networking is a great way to raise your profile while you're searching for jobs. We're looking for volunteers from all these maritime sectors. If you would like to become a My Ocean Life volunteer and join our volunteer team so you can increase your network and connect with fellow seafarers while you're searching for jobs, please email team@myoceanlife.com or connect with me @Nicola inside My Ocean Life. I look forward to hearing from you and connecting with you inside My Ocean Life. We hope you found this video chat useful, and we look forward to welcoming you to My Ocean Life. Many thanks to our special guest, Miranda Strawbridge. This has been My Ocean Life video chat. Hope you've enjoyed it. Till next time, take care. If you would like to join My Ocean Life, our fast-growing online network for seafarers, simply go to myoceanlife.com. Music credits Ben Sound Adventure.